The Milk of Paradise by Alice Sheldon as James Tiptree, Jr. When the author first submitted a few stories to Harlan Ellison for inclusion in his anthology called Again, Dangerous Visions, he initially rejected them. At the time, none of her fellow authors had seen her, and all believed her to be the man she pretended to be in print. Ellison responded with the following letter: Dear Mr. Tiptree, your credentials precede you. The respect and admiration in which you are held by other writers and at least 2 editors who have mentioned you as brilliant allow me to return these stories without qualm. You are considered, even for a newly published author, quite a comer, and as such I don't have any sadness about sending back what are obviously 2 quickies cobbled up late at night. You can do better than this, and I expect you to do so. She responded, saying she would try, and he responded to that, saying, Bust your ass. When she submitted the story we're about to hear, he wrote her again, saying, Dear Jim, Dear Mother of God, I just tried to call you from L.A. You aren't listed. Now listen to me, man, because this is where the bullshit stops. You are the single most important new writer in science fiction today. Nobody touches you. Not me, not Delaney, not Blish, not Boudris, not Dish, not Dick. None of us. Milk is so good there are no superlatives. It goes beyond. It's absolutely new, absolutely fresh, unkind to everything that went before, because it is its own rara avis. You are another new wave. If each new wave is one man, as I contend, then you are what's coming. Bursting, breaking, cresting now. And I'm so fucking distracted by what you've allowed me to read. I don't know how to say thank you. And so, after multiple edits, the story he specified and praised was finally printed in his anthology called Again, Dangerous Visions in 1972. Its first inclusion in a collection of the author's tales was in Warm Worlds and Otherwise in 1979. Then it appeared in a 1995 anthology called The Penguin Book of Modern Fantasy by Women, as well as in Dutch, German, and Russian translations. Read by Daryl T. Smith II for my channel, Quasar Spectra. The Milk of Paradise. She was flowing hot and naked, and she straddled his belly in the cuddle cube and fed him her hard little tits. And he convulsed up under her and then was headlong on the waster, vomiting. Timor! Timor! It was not his name. Sorry. He retched up more U4. I warned you, soul. She sat up where he'd thrown her, purely astonished. You mean you don't want me? But everyone in this station... I'm sorry. I did warn you. He began to struggle into his gray singlet, long-sleeved, puffed at elbows. It's no good. It's never any good. But you're human, Timor, like me. Aren't you glad you were rescued? Human. He spat in the waster. That's all you can think of. She gasped. He was pulling on long gray tights, pleated at knee and ankle. What did they do to you, Timor? She rocked on her bottom. How did they love you? I can't. She wailed. It's what they were, soul, he said, patiently arranging his dove-gray cuffs. Did they look like that? All gray and shiny? Is that why you wear... He turned on her. Chunky, gray-covered boy, hot eyes and a still face. I wear these to conceal my hideous human body, he said tightly, so I won't make myself sick. Compared to them, I was a crot. So are you. Oh! His face softened. If you could have seen them, soul, tall as smoke, and they were always in music with something you can't imagine. We haven't... He stopped tugging at his gray gloves, shuddered. Fairer than all the children of men, he said painfully. She hugged herself, eyes narrowed. But they're dead, Timor, dead. You told me. He went rigid, turned away from her with his hand on his gray slipper. "How could there be better than humans?" she persisted. "Everyone knows there's only humans and crots. I don't think it's your crotty paradise at all. I think—" He wrenched at the privacy lock. "Timor, wait! Timor!" The sound that was not his name followed him into the bright corridors, his feet carrying him blindly on the dry hardness, fighting to breathe evenly, to control the fist that shook him from within. When he slowed, he saw that he was in a part of this station still strange to him, but they were all alike, all like hospital and train world, parched prisms. An aged she-crot wheeled by, grinning vacuously, trailing skin. His stomach churned again at the red scurf. The local crots were high-grade, equivalent to human morons, caricatures, subhumans. Why let them in the stations? A drone warned him of the air plant ahead, and he veered away, past a flasher. Humans only. Beyond it was the playroom where he had met Seoul. He found it empty, jagged with rude games and mechanical throats. What the lords of the galaxy called music. So jealous of their ugliness. He passed the U4 bar, grimaced, and heard water splashing. It drew him powerfully. There had been water on Paradise. Such water. He came into the station pool. 2 heads shot out of the water, tossed black hair. "Heyo, the new boy!" He stared at the wetness, the olive boy flesh. "He flows! Come on in, new boy!" For a moment he held aloof, a gray-clad stranger. Then his body prodded, and he stripped again, showed the hateful dry pink. "Heyo, he really flows!" The water was clear and wrong, but he felt better. "Ottawa," one boy told him. "Hull." They were twins. "Timor," he lied, rolling, sluicing in the wet. He wanted olive hands on his legs in the bubbling. "Good?" "In the water," he said thickly. They laughed. "Are you sub? Come on." He flushed, saw it was a joke, and followed them. The pool cube was dim and moist, and it was almost good, but their flesh grew greasy hot, and presently he could not do what they wanted. "He flows nowhere," the one called Ottawa said. "You don't—" They were busy with each other. Aching, undrained, he said furiously, "Humans! Ugly nullhead humans! You don't know what flowing is!" They stared at him now, too startled for anger. "Where are you from, new boy?" Ottawa asked. It was no use. He shouldn't have. "From Paradise," he said wearily, pulling on gray silk. They exchanged looks. "There's no such planet." "There is," he said. "There is. There was." And went out, head averted into the bright wastes, stilling his face, straightening the short tree of his spine. When would he be in space, allowed simply to do his job? The mindless immensities, the empty stars. Better. Weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed and drunk. A hand fell on his shoulder from behind. "So, you're the crot nursling." The old fury lashed him round, fists ready. His eyes went up. Into dream. He stood gaping his unbelief, but then he saw that the thin black face above his own was human. Human, not much older than he, but cloud lean, ghost graceful, like, "I'm Santiago. Work to do. Follow me, crotty." Old habit drove his fist. Automatically his throat said, "My name is Timor." The dark one twisted lightly. The blow palmed on his shoulder. Contemptuous god grin. "Pax, Pax." black velvet voice. "Timor, son of the late great scout Timor. My father's compliments, and will you get your ass into the scouter I'm taking out? Sector D needs it as of yesterday, and we're short-handed. Your specs say you know how." Santiago. His father must be the fat brown station chief who had greeted him yesterday. How could such a sire... "Apprentice cert," his voice was saying. Santiago nodded and went away without looking back to see that Timor followed. The scouter was new and of the same model Timor had CR'd on. Numbly he moved through the out-system transjection routine, parroting the checks, not daring to look closely at the long figure in the command console. When they were set to first transit, Santiago turned to him. "Still freaked?" Timor kept his eyes from the dark magnets. "Seoul told me a little. I shouldn't have said that. Obviously no Crot could raise a man. My father wasted me too long. His dear old chum scout Timor's son, saved from the aliens. Your father and mine spaced together. You'll get all that when you're back. He thinks your scout Timor reincarnated. He asked for you, you know." "Yes," Timor got out. The eyes studied him, nodded. "It's a good thing he did. Your specs are a little strange." "What do you mean?" "All that Psi Council wad. I expect they had to work you over completely. How old were you when you were found?" 10, said Timor absently. "What were you doing with my—" "Don't freak. Man going out wants to know who's with him, fair? 10 years with... All right, I won't say it, but if they weren't Crots, what were they? Crots is all we know." Timor drew breath. If he could somehow touch understanding without words, but he was so tired. "They were not Crots," he told the smoke-thin face. "Compared to them..." He turned away. "You don't want to talk." "No." "Too bad," said Santiago lightly. "We could use a super race." In silence they worked through the transit change, set the main course parameters and secondary checks. Then Santiago stretched, moved to the lockers. "Might as well relax and eat now. Next transit's not for an hour. Then we can sleep." With odd, archaic ceremoniousness he opened their food. Timor realized he was very hungry, and from behind his gut stabs of a deeper hunger. It seemed good to eat thus with another human, intimately cocooned in abysmal space. Always before he had been the monitored pupil. Now? He stiffened, summoned scorn. "You four? No. Try some of this then. Station's best. I boosted it. You must not have had much rest since you came off Train World." It was true. Timor took the proffered bulb. "Where is Sector D?" "Out toward Deneb. 6 transits. They're opening 3 new systems, and we're trying to keep it all supplied." They talked a little then about the station and the weird encapsulated life of Train World. Despite himself, Timor felt knots in perilous thaw. "Music?" Santiago caught his unguarded wince. "That wastes you? Your aliens had better music, true?" Timor nodded. "They had cities?" "Oh, yes." "Real cities, like Mescalon?" "More beautiful. Different, with many musics," he said, painfully. The dark face watched him. "Where are they now?" "In paradise." Timor shook his head tiredly. "I mean, the planet was called Paradise, but they're all dead. The scouts who found me had a disease." "Bad." There was a pause. Then Santiago said musingly, "There's a spool of planets called Paradise something or somebody's paradise. You wouldn't happen to know the coordinates?" Alarms clattered in Timor's head. "No!" "Oh, you must have been told." No, I forgot. They never... Maybe we could hype you." Santiago smiled. "No!" The effort jerked him loose from his stay. As he caught himself clumsily, he noticed that the cabin seemed very small, with curious halos. "They had cities, you say? Tell me about them." He wanted to say it was time for the transit, to stop talking, but he found he was telling the dark ghost about the cities of his lost world, of paradise. Dim, ruby light, and music, the music of many, and the mud. Mud? His heart jolted, raced. He stared mutely at the ghost angel. "Oh, keep on the track," the angel said severely. Suddenly, Timor knew. "You've drugged me." Santiago's long lips flickered. "The people, you say they were beautiful? Fairer than all the children of men," said Timor helplessly, worlds sliding within him. "They flowed?" "They flowed." Timor's head waved, tortured. "More than any human, more than you. They loved me," he groaned, reaching his arms to ghosts. "You look a little like them. Why—" Santiago seemed to be doing something at the console. "I do?" White teeth made halos. "No," said Timor. Suddenly he was very cool. "You're only human. It's just that you're not pink, and you're tall, but you're nothing but a human. To them, humans are crots." "Humans are crots?" Blue-black knife face over him, lethal. "You're trying for it, new boy. So your aliens are something better than humans? Mere humans make you vomit? That makes you something very, very special. And how convenient they're all dead and no one's ever seen it. You know a thing, Timor, son of Crot, Timor? I think you're lying. You know where it is." "No!" "Where is it?" Timor heard himself yell, saw the ebony mask check and change. "All right, don't freak. I caught enough of your specs to know the sector they picked you up in. It's not far off course. You said the primary was dim and red, true? Computer will sort it. There can't be too many Class M dwarfs out here." He turned away. Timor tried to launch himself to stop him, but his drugged hands were flailing empty bulkhead. "I'm not lying. I'm not lying." The computer was droning. "Class M Beta Primary Sector 2 0.Z.Delta Solution 1-4, repeat 1-4. "Ah," said Santiago. 14's too many." He frowned at Timor, who was now quiet. "There must be something you know, some criterion. I want to find this paradise." "They're all dead," Timor whispered. "Maybe," said Santiago. "Maybe not. And maybe you're lying, and maybe not. Either way, I want to see it. If the cities are there, there'll be things we can use, or I'll get you off for good. Why do you think you're on this trip, new boy? Somebody's hiding something, and I'm going to find it." "You can't find it. I won't let you hurt them." Timor heard his voice break, struggled through shells of unreality. He could see the cabin lights reflected in violet bloom on Santiago's brow. Black stars probed him, golden-edged. The face of dream. "I wouldn't hurt them." The voice was velvet again. "Why would I harm paradise? I want to see them. The cities. We could see the cities together. You could show me." The dream loomed, swelled closer. Warmth. Melting. You could show me. You want to go back to paradise? Timor's eyes blurred. Maybe some of them are still alive. Maybe we could help them. Depths shifted in him, oozed scorching springs. Santiago. His hands were on richness now, needing the throb. If it were not so dry, so bright. The lights dimmed to a blue glow. Yes, Santiago said. His tunic was peeling away. The dark flesh glimmered. I would like to share the beauty. You must be very lonely. Timor's lips moved, wordless. Tell me a little how it was. The light. No. His mouth was on fire. Even his lungs were dry. Somewhere the voter voice gabbled, quit. His eyes were crusted. No, he croaked, his face striking plastic. Suck, stupid. Liquid gushed in. He sucked greedily, and the blue blackness above him came in focus. That wears off. You'll be fine when we get to paradise. No! Timor jerked upright, clutching after the long shape that weaved away. He remembered now. The drug and Santiago. He had been hyped. The thing that must not ever be. But Santiago was grinning at him. Oh, yes, little Timor, whatever your name is, you put out. Those sunless periods. It was a binary, did you know that? Dark body system, and that cluster you called the spawn. Computer had it all. You found it? You found paradise. We're one transit out. A cool bursting inside him, fountains of dissolving light unbearable. Santiago had hyped him and found paradise. He could not believe it. Slowly he sank back, drank some more, dreamily watching Santiago. Belief grew. They would walk the streets of paradise. His proud human would see. The signaler was flashing. Santiago's eyes slid round. Recall pre-signal, but they can't know we've gone off course. He shrugged. We'll see when the message clears. I'm not turning back. Santiago. Timor smiled. We flowed. I've never said it to a human before. But the black stars came no closer. Maybe. I wonder. You said a lot of things. If your paradise turns out to be a crot world... Santiago's nostrils wedged. A crot's thing into humans. You'll see. You will see. Maybe. The boards chimed for transit, and suddenly Timor's head cleared. But they're dead, he cried. I won't want to see it, Santiago. Not all dead. Don't take us there. Santiago ignored him, went on setting course. Timor floundered up, pulled at his arms, and received a chop that sent him into the stays. What's wasting you? Why are you so sure they're all dead? Timor's mouth opened, closed. How was he so sure? Armor seemed to be dissolving from his brain. Who had told him that? He had been so young. Could it have been a mistake? A lie? In which case, Santiago's eyes roved the boards, would they be friendly? Friendly? A fearful joy was rising in Timor, perilous, unstoppable. Alive. Was it possible? Oh, yes. But maybe after that disease, Santiago persisted. He started a check run. Just make sure our ambax is operational. Timor hardly heard him. moved like a zombie through the drill. Finally, Santiago pushed him at the stall. "Clean up, in case you meet your friends." He seemed to be floating at less than the scouter's nominal G, roiled by waves of alternate joy and dread. Timor concentrated on the vision of himself and Santiago entering empty cities. No music but the spires and the light. His bitter lover would see what a flowing world had been. They were breaking into the system. To their side, a sullen star swelled, eclipsed, reappeared. That one! Third out! The gray webs took hold. Timor saw a great star cluster wheel across the screen. The spawn! Paradise. They were landing on paradise. Where are the cities? Under the clouds. It's 9/10 ocean. I don't see any roads or fields. That's right. They don't need them. The open spaces were just for sport or water dancing. A hole there. Go down by the sea. As the breaking bit the signal printout chattered, Santiago slapped it aside. Overcast churned around them crescendo, finally thinned. Then the webs grabbed them and they were set down, cooling in dim ruby light. Before them the screen showed milky smoothness. Sea. A level shore, and behind them low fronds, and a long crenellated line which fingered Timor's heart. This was not real. This was real. Santiago was frowning at the message. Out of their heads. A medical recall? Timor scarcely heard him. The cycling lock was a vortex tugging him to the beautiful dimness, the garnet gleaming light. Real. Your moment of truth, new boy. The port opened, and they went out into paradise. Healing moisture rushed into Timor's lungs. Ah, what a fug! You sure this is breathable? Come on, the city. Where are your spires? Twilight, the ground sluiced with sweetness, lapped by the quiet shallow sea. Impatiently, he pulled at Santiago's arm, felt him stumble. Not real. Where is the city? Come on. In dimness, they splashed through a grove of short, flabby trees that oozed fruit. The sea curved beside them, barely ankle-deep. Is that supposed to be a town? Timor looked at the low, crenellated walls, lit only by the dusk. They seemed lower than he remembered. Lower and... But he had been a child. It's been abandoned. It's crumbled. Mud. What are those? Gray, rotten little things were humping toward them out of the walls, stopping to stare. They, said Timor, they must be the servants, the workers. I guess they didn't die. They make Crots look human. No. And those are nothing but mud hovels. No, repeated Timor. He moved forward, pulling his friend, who would not see. Look, they've just deteriorated. In 7 years? A low music came to Timor's ears. 3 of the lumps were humping closer, all dove-gray like himself, but it was hide, not silk, that bloated at elbows and knees. Gray, splayed feet, and between them, under the bags of belly, the giant genitals of 2 of them leaving triple furrows in the soft mud. The third trailed a central row of great dugs. From their blue-black face-holes came gentle, glubbering sounds. Dark gems, gold-crusted like the sad eyes of toads, met his. The world side-slipped, folded into transparency. The music. A terrible clamor broke upon him. Timor whirled. The alien beside him was laughing, cruel, barking teeth. "Well, my crotty friend, so this is paradise!" Santiago yelled, whooped. "Not even crots! Sub-crots!" "Speak to your friends, Crot," he gasped. "Answer them!" But Timor did not understand. A thing was klizming from him, a thing of most careful construction, which had almost killed him, dissolving out. "It is absolutely necessary that this child be totally reconditioned," he said in a stranger's voice. "He is Scout Timor's son." But his words meant nothing to him, for he had heard his name in the music, his true name, name of the babyhood under the soft gray hands and bodies of his first world, the bodies that had taught him love, all in the mud, in the cool mud. The thing beside him was making hurtful sounds. "You wanted the beauty!" Timor screamed, his last human words. And then they were down, tearing and rolling in the sweet mud, gray bodies with him, until he found that it was no longer fighting, but love. Love as it always had been, his true flowing, while the voices rose around him and the muddied thing under him that was dead or dying slipped away in the gray welter, in the music of many flowing together in paradise, in the dim ruby light. You've been listening to pre-1990s speculative fiction readings with a highlight on science fiction by Darrell T. Smith II. Please consider clicking the donation link in the description box. Thank you so much for your time and your imagination.